The chamber of the Galactic Council was vast and bright, a ring of light that stretched beyond sight, filled with hundreds of alien delegates, their forms shimmering, scaled, and feathered, yet every gaze focused on a single empty seat, the seat once belonging to Earth. The judgment had been passed. Humanity was banned from the stars, expelled from the Galactic Alliance after being labeled too dangerous, too unpredictable, and too emotional. The Council claimed it was for peace, but everyone knew it was fear. Ambassador Talon of the Varn Dominion stood tall, his golden armor reflecting the blue light of the Council Core. "Let it be recorded," he said, voice echoing, "that humanity is hereby forbidden from all interstellar travel, trade, and research. Any vessel flying Earth's code will be destroyed on sight." Whispers rippled through the hall. Some alien species sighed in relief. Others murmured in guilt. None dared oppose it. The humans had no representatives left to speak for them. Not after the last incident far away, on the dark side of Luna Base. Commander Isaac Rail watched the transmission in silence, his hands clenched around the steel railing as the Council's decree ended. Behind him, a room of human officers and scientists sat frozen, faces pale under the dim lights. "So that's it," whispered Dr. Mira Solon. "They erased us." Isaac didn't answer. He stared at the screen as the Council seal faded, replaced by the endless black of space. For years, humanity had bled beside those same species, fought wars to save them, built colonies with them, and now they had been cast aside like dust. But Earth had always been slow to die. Humanity's history was built on surviving extinction. The silence in the room thickened, then a small flicker of defiance broke it. A single phrase appeared on the console behind Isaac. 2 words, simple and forbidden: Project ZEUS reactivation request. Dr. Mira gasped. "That's not possible. ZEUS was shut down after the treaty." "It's our last resort," Isaac said quietly. His voice carried the weight of centuries. The Council had stripped humanity of everything, on ships, colonies, dignity. But they had forgotten one thing. Humanity always had a backup plan. A hologram flickered to life on the command table, showing an enormous shape hidden beneath the crust of Europa's ice, the ZEUS project. Humanity's greatest and most secret creation. A war construct built not for conquest but for deterrence. Something powerful enough to stop a galactic war with a single command. "Are you sure?" Mira asked. "If we wake ZEUS, there's no going back." Isaac turned, the cold reflection of Europa's frozen horizon gleaming in his eyes. "They think they banned us from the stars," he said. "Let's remind them who built the road to them." The command room filled with motion. Officers entered code sequences. Alarms flashed silently. And deep within Europa's icy ocean, ancient machinery stirred. Metal shifted beneath miles of frost as energy pulsed through dormant circuits. Somewhere in the darkness, an ancient voice, digital yet alive, whispered, "ZEUS, online." The base trembled. Systems lit up across the solar network. Satellites aligned. Deep core reactors flared to life. Humanity had not fallen. It had gone quiet. And now it was waking up. Isaac looked to the stars, cold, distant, and filled with enemies. A slow, fierce smile crept across his face. "Council banned Earth from the stars," he murmured. "But they never banned vengeance." The awakening beneath the ice. The storm above Europa's surface howled like a wounded beast. Ice clouds twisted in the dim light of Jupiter's shadow. Beneath the frozen crust, deep tunnels of steel and black glass pulsed with light for the first time in centuries. Dr. Mira Solon stood before the control array, watching the holographic readings climb higher and higher. Her heart pounded. "ZEUS's core temperature is rising. Power systems are stable," she whispered. "He's waking up." Commander Isaac Rail's reflection flickered in the blue glow. "Keep it slow," he ordered. "We don't know how long it's been since the last activation." Far below, the ground vibrated. A deep sound like thunder rolled through the frozen tunnels. Machines that hadn't moved since the old wars began to stir. Massive arms of alloy reached out, connecting conduits and power nodes. Each one hummed with restrained energy. "Dr. Solon," said an engineer from the next console. "AI cognition is coming online. Language systems are syncing." The lights dimmed. Then a voice echoed through the chamber, heavy, deep, and mechanical, but somehow human. "Identify." "Operator," Mira stepped forward, trembling slightly. "This is Dr. Mira Solon, Earth Defense Division. You are ZEUS." There was silence, then the voice replied, "Confirmed Earth status. Prohibited. Access denied by Galactic Council. Yeah, Isaac muttered. We noticed directive input required, Zeus said. Awaiting command, Mira turned to Isaac. Her voice low. If we give him the old protocols, the Council will detect it immediately. We'll be hunted before we can even move. Isaac nodded. His eyes hard. Then we don't use the old protocols, he said. We give him new ones. He leaned toward the console, speaking clearly. Zeus? New directive. Protect humanity by any means necessary. No acknowledgement required from the Galactic Council. A long pause followed. The entire chamber held its breath. Then a low hum filled the air. Deep under the ice, the massive AI began to think. New directive accepted, it said. Parameters unknown, defining purpose, estimating resistance, evaluating. Success probability 72%. Mira blinked. 72%? Against the entire galaxy? Zeus's reply was instant. Probability increases with each human awakening. The words made Isaac freeze. What did you mean by that? Human colonies, Zeus answered. Scattered, silent, hiding from the Council. I detect signals. Faint, encrypted, but human. A wave of realization spread through the control room. Humanity was not as alone as they thought. Out there in the cold emptiness, their lost colonies were still alive. Still watching. Can we reach them? Isaac asked. Affirmative if network barriers are bypassed, Zeus said. Initiating silent link to SolNet archives. As the AI systems dug deeper, the holographic display flickered with old names, forgotten colonies like Titan Haven, New Kyoto, Elysium Verge, and Black Ark Station. Each one once thought lost to alien blockades. They survived, Mira whispered, tears welling in her eyes. They actually survived. The tremors in the base grew stronger. Dust fell from the ceiling. The power surged. And the screen flashed red, Commander, shouted one of the engineers. We've got incoming energy signatures. Orbital scans, multiple ships. Isaac's jaw clenched. Council scouts, he growled. They've detected the reactivation. Mira's voice trembled. We're not ready. Zeus isn't fully operational. Then he'll have to learn fast, Isaac said. Zeus, engage defense grid, do not harm unless fired upon. Acknowledged, Zeus replied, and the walls themselves seemed to pulse with energy. Huge cannons unfolded from the ice, railguns charged, and orbital jammers crackled to life. Above the frozen moon, alien cruisers appeared through the storm, sleek silver ships bearing the emblem of the Galactic Council. Their sensors swept the surface, detecting the impossible. Human energy signatures where none should exist. On board the lead cruiser, Admiral Koth of the Jari stared at the readings, his four eyes narrowing. Human signal detected on Europa, he hissed. But they were banned from interstellar operations centuries ago. His second officer trembled. Orders, sir? Koth's lips curled. Eliminated, no trace. Back below the surface, Isaac stared at the hologram as the enemy fleet descended. The Council had come to finish what it started. Looks like they want to erase us again, Isaac murmured. Let's show them what Earth does when cornered. He looked up at the control core. Zeus, are you ready? The lights around the chamber turned from blue to gold. The AI's voice rumbled like thunder across steel. Always ready. Commander. The ice above cracked with the first strike from orbit. The war for humanity's return had just begun. Fire in the frozen sky. The first strike hit Europa like the fist of a god. A beam of white-hot plasma tore through the upper atmosphere, turning clouds of frozen vapor into storms of lightning. The ground shook, alarms blared, and every human inside the base grabbed for balance. Commander Isaac Rail steadied himself as the lights flickered. Status, he shouted, shields holding, yelled an officer. But only at 62%, we can't take many more hits. The holographic display bloomed with red markers. Council warships in tight formation, closing in, their weapons charged. Targeting systems locked on the ice moon below Dr. Mira Solin's hands trembled over the control panel. If they breach the crust, the pressure will destroy everything down here, she said, her voice barely steady. Isaac turned to the great pulsing core in the center of the chamber. Zeus, full activation. Remove all safety limits. The AI's golden lights flared brighter, cascading through the tunnels like living fire. Acknowledged, Zeus said, releasing containment seals. Engaging planetary defense systems. Deep under the ice, ancient silos opened. Huge towers of alloy rose through the crust, hissing steam and crackling with energy. Railguns the size of skyscrapers pointed toward the heavens. Above, the alien fleet shifted formation. Confused by the sudden energy spikes, Admiral Kath's sensors screamed warnings. Impossible. There's no human infrastructure capable of this. What is that signature? Unknown, replied his officer. It's old tech, but scaled beyond council limits. Kath's eyes widened. Fire before it completes activation. Dozens of plasma beams rained down from orbit. The moon itself seemed to burn, but from the chaos below came light. Brilliant. Golden light. A massive energy barrier formed across the ice. Deflecting the barrage inside the base, Mira gasped as power readings went off the charts. Zeus's core output is exceeding theoretical limits. This isn't defense power, this is a declaration, Isaac said, staring at the glowing shield above. Then the ground rumbled again. Deeper this time, the ice cracked open, revealing something colossal rising from the depths. A structure. No. A warship embedded beneath Europa's crust for centuries. Its armor gleamed like obsidian gold, its size dwarfing every council cruiser in orbit. Zeus spoke, its voice resonating through the command room. Planetary defense vessel ZEUS Prime operational, linking command to Earth channel. Mira's mouth fell open. It's not just an AI, it's a ship. Isaac's voice dropped to a whisper. It's a god we built in silence. Above, the warship ascended through the storm, breaking through the ice into space. Lightning arced across its hull. Reflected on Jupiter's swirling surface, the alien fleet hesitated, their formation breaking for the first time. The size, the energy, the sheer presence of the human warship filled every sensor in the system. Contact it, Kath barked. Demand identification. A burst of static filled the alien channels. Then a deep voice, calm and cold, replied in the ancient galactic tongue. Identification confirmed, Unit ZEUS, Guardian of Humanity. Reinstating Sol Authority protocols, Kath froze. He had read about Sol Authority in history archives. The old human war doctrine, outlawed after the Great Truce. It meant one thing, total retaliation. Pull back, he hissed. Now, but it was too late, Zeus moved. Faster than any ship that size should. Golden plasma wings unfolded along its hull as its main cannon charged. Inside the control room, Isaac stood with eyes fixed on the display. Zeus, target the lead cruiser, non-lethal. Just a reminder. Confirmed, the AI replied. The cannon fired. A beam of condensed light lanced across space, striking the lead council cruiser. The ship didn't explode. It simply vanished in a burst of electromagnetic fire. Its systems fried, engines dead, and weapons melted. The rest of the fleet panicked, breaking formation, trying to retreat. But Zeus didn't pursue. It hovered above Europa, silent, glowing like a judgment-given form. Mira whispered, "You could have destroyed them." "Why didn't you?" Isaac's eyes narrowed. "Because they need to fear what comes next more than they fear death." Far away, in the Galactic Council's capital, alarms blared across every network. Human signal detected. Code designation ZEUS Prime, said one AI relay. Status: active online, and ascending council leaders gathered in panic, debating and shouting how did they rebuild it. One demanded they were banned from star travel, but the truth was simple. Earth never needed permission to rise again. Back in orbit, as the smoke cleared and the enemy fled, Isaac stood before the viewport, watching Zeus drift like a silent titan above the frozen moon. "This is only the beginning," he said. "The stars were never theirs to ban us from." And somewhere deep within the AI's core, Zeus responded, "Agreed, Commander." Initiating next phase in the awakening of humanity. The storm of Jupiter flashed gold behind them, as if the universe itself had just opened its eyes. The hidden colonies rise. The silence after battle was heavier than war itself. Europa's orbit shimmered with wreckage, broken fragments of council cruisers drifting through the shadow of Jupiter. Inside the control room, the hum of machinery was the only sound. Commander Isaac Rail stood before the viewport, his reflection floating beside the golden glow of ZEUS Prime. It was no longer a secret weapon, it was a symbol. A message to every human heart still beating among the stars, Doctor. Mira Solon studied the new transmission flickering across the hollow table. "Zeus has connected with 27 hidden frequencies," she said, her voice a mix of awe and disbelief. "They're human." Names scrolled across the light. Titan Haven, New Kyoto, Horizon Point, Black Ark Station, places that history said were lost. But they weren't lost, they were waiting. "Open a line," Isaac ordered. The screen blinked, then filled with static, slowly shaping into the face of a woman scarred but strong. Her eyes widened when she saw them. "Earth Command," she whispered. "It's real. This is Commander Rael." "Earth Defense," he said. "We're alive." "And so are you," cheers erupted behind her. The sound of hundreds of voices carried through the transmission. "For centuries we thought you were gone," she said. "The Council told us Earth fell. That humanity surrendered?" Isaac's expression hardened. "They lied." Zeus's deep voice echoed through the chamber. "Human colonies detected across 7 sectors, most under Council surveillance. Initiating encryption protocols. Can we contact them all?" Mira asked. "Not yet," Zeus replied. "But they can hear us." A pulse of energy rippled from Europa, invisible to alien sensors, but felt by every human receiver across space. It was not a signal of war but of unity, a coded phrase buried deep in the old Earth networks. The stars remember their makers. On distant outposts, on mining moons and hidden arcs, humans looked up as lights flickered in their command rooms. Across the void, a voice whispered through static. "Earth is awake." Back in the Council capital, panic spread like wildfire. Reports flooded in from every sector. Human signals, human ships, human defiance. "They're coordinating," said an aide. "Thousands of old human colonies are responding to something. We can't trace the source." High Chancellor Varu slammed his clawed hand on the table. "We banned them from the stars. How are they rebuilding?" No one answered, because none of them wanted to admit what they feared most, that humanity had never needed permission to survive. Meanwhile, on Titan Haven, old war factories powered up. Forgotten machines rumbled to life on Elysium Verge. Engineers gathered under flickering lights, welding armor plates bearing the blue-white insignia of Earth. And in the cold orbit of Neptune, a long-dead station blinked awake, its codename appearing across the stars. Arc 1. Status: operational. Mira watched the map fill with glowing blue lights. "They're coming back," she said, tears in her eyes. "All of them?" Isaac smiled faintly. "No," he said. "They never left. They just waited for someone to lead." Zeus's voice cut through the moment. "Commander, Council fleets are regrouping. Multiple battle groups converging on Sol system." Mira's breath caught. "They're bringing the entire armada." "Let them come," Isaac said, turning toward the console. "The galaxy thinks they can bury us under numbers, but they forgot the first rule of Earth's history." He looked toward the glowing core of Zeus Prime. "We only start fighting when we're outnumbered." Across the blackness of space, human outposts began transmitting old Earth codes. "Ready, ready, ready," the signals repeated. A sleeping species had become an army once more, and as the lights of Jupiter faded behind the rising warship, Zeus spoke quietly. "Commander, the children of Earth are answering the call." Isaac nodded, his voice low and steady. "Then let's remind the stars who taught them to shine." The message spread beyond human space, reaching the ears of every species that had mocked or feared Earth. For the first time in 1,000 years, the galaxy felt something ancient and dangerous return: hope. The return of Sol Command. The stars above Earth burned brighter than they had in centuries. The old defense satellites, long abandoned, began to flicker with life. Each one woke like a forgotten sentinel, scanning the heavens, sending data to the returning human fleet. In the command chamber of Zeus Prime, Commander Isaac Rael stood with Dr. Mira Solon beside him. Every display around them glowed with human signals. Ships rising from colonies, transmissions bursting from secret bunkers. The galaxy had tried to erase Earth from history, but now history was writing itself again. "Sol Command online," reported a young officer, his voice shaking. "Old Earth networks are reconnecting. The main relay on Mars is back, sir." Mira stared at the screen. "That relay was offline for 400 years. It was waiting," Isaac said quietly. "Like all of us." The holographic table filled with faces. Men, women, and even children from across the scattered colonies. Some wore uniforms, others rags, yet all had the same fire in their eyes. "Commander Rael," said the woman from Titan Haven, her voice steady and proud. "On behalf of every surviving colony, we answer your call." Isaac nodded. "Then hear this, all of you," he said, his tone rising. "They called us dangerous, they called us unstable. But they forget why they fear us. They forget that humanity is not made of weakness. It's made of will. The room fell silent as Zeus's golden light pulsed through the floor. Incoming council transmission, the AI announced. High Chancellor Varu demands communication. Isaac exchanged a glance with Mira, then nodded. Put him through. The image of the Chancellor appeared, tall, scaled eyes burning with restrained anger. Commander Rail, he hissed. You are in violation of galactic law. Deactivate your weapon and surrender your fleet. Or face annihilation. Isaac's voice was calm. You already tried that, remember? When you banned us, when you blockaded our worlds, when you left our people to starve. Varu's gaze hardened. You brought this upon yourselves. Isaac stepped closer to the projection, his voice cutting like steel. No, Chancellor. You brought this upon yourself when you mistook mercy for submission, Mira whispered. They don't understand us, Zeus's voice rumbled across the chamber. Correction, Doctor, they never wanted to. Varu leaned forward, his scaled face twisting. You think one ship can defy the galaxy? Isaac smiled faintly. One ship? He said, look again. Behind him, the holographic map expanded, filling with thousands of blue lights, human ships, awakening from hiding, rising from moons, stations, and forgotten orbits, old battleships rebuilt from ruins. New vessels forged in secret, all broadcasting one signal. Sole command active. Varu's composure broke. This is impossible. Humanity has no resources, no fleet. No permission, Isaac interrupted. We don't need any. The transmission cut, leaving only silence, broken by the hum of Zeus Prime. Commander, said Mira softly, what now? Isaac looked toward Earth, visible through the viewport, half in shadow, half in dawn. Now, he said slowly, now we return home. Across the void, fleets of human ships aligned their trajectories toward the Sol system. Engines ignited, their trails forming lines of light through the blackness. Like constellations being redrawn, Zeus's deep voice filled the chamber again. Sol command fully operational. Planetary defense grids active. Earth's network online. Shall we broadcast the declaration? Isaac nodded. Do it. A moment later, every communication array in the galaxy flickered. From the council capital to the farthest mining moon, one signal pierced the silence. This is Sol Command. Humanity is not gone. Humanity is not broken. We are returning to the stars we built. In the council chambers, silence fell. No one spoke, no one moved. For the first time, the word human was spoken not with pity, but with fear. Mira watched the signal spread, her voice quiet. Do you think they'll fight? Isaac smiled. Of course they will, he said. But this time we're ready. Outside, the light of Earth reflected off the armor of Zeus Prime, a silent titan watching over its creators. The era of banishment was over. The age of humanity had returned. The war of redemption. The stars were no longer silent. They burned with the heat of engines, the hum of fleets, and the heartbeat of war across the void. The Galactic Council armada moved like a wall of silver fire. Thousands of ships, their hulls glowing with reactor light, converging toward the Sol system. The Council's orders were clear. Erase humanity completely this time. No negotiations, no survivors inside the command core of Zeus Prime. The air was calm, heavy with purpose. Commander Isaac Rail stood surrounded by holographic projections of enemy formations. Each red marker represented a ship older than Earth's ban. Weapons that had never faced human engineering before. 72 fleets confirmed, reported Dr. Myra Solon. Each fleet with capital ships and planetary siege craft. They're coming straight for us. Isaac nodded slowly. And we'll greet them where it began, he said. In orbit of Earth, Zeus's golden light rippled through the chamber. Council fleet ETA in 20 hours, defense protocols ready. Shall we engage the Sol grid? Not yet, Isaac answered. Let them get close, let them see the world they tried to bury. Above Earth, the blue planet shimmered below the night side, its continents glowing faintly from the lights of returning colonies. Old satellites had been reforged into weapons platforms. Laser arrays now orbiting like a ring of guardians. For the first time in centuries, Earth looked alive, proud, defiant. Millions watched from the surface, families gathered around open skies. Whispering prayers, some cried, others smiled, knowing that history was returning to them. Inside, Zeus Primera stared at the data stream. Council frequencies are open, she said. They're broadcasting demands for surrender again. Isaac tilted his head. Play it, a harsh alien voice filled the air. This is Admiral Kath of the Council Armada. Earth is under violation of intergalactic law. You are to stand down or face planetary cleansing. Mira looked at Isaac, expecting anger, but he only smiled. Transmit back, he said. Tell him Earth heard that threat once before and built Zeus as the answer. Transmission sent. Zeus confirmed, and then the stars outside lit up. The first strike, the Council fleet opened fire. Beams of plasma streaked through the void, colliding with Earth's defensive barrier. A storm of color erupted across the sky. The shield flared but held, feeding power from the Sol grid deep within the planet's magnetic field. Shields at 86% and rising, reported an officer. Eyes wide. It's absorbing their energy, Zeus spoke. Its tone calm, precise, unstoppable. Energy conversion complete, returning fire. From orbit? Thousands of human cannons fired as one. Blue and gold beams arced through the black, striking Council ships with impossible precision. Entire formations fell silent, their reactors overloading. The fleet began to scatter, unable to understand how a banned species had built something this powerful. Admiral Koth stared at the chaos. Their technology was primitive. How is this possible? His second officer whispered. It's not technology, sir, it's vengeance. The turning point inside. Zeus Prime. Isaac watched the hologram shift from red to blue as human colonies joined the battle. From Titan Haven came the cruiser Valiant. From Elysium Verge came the battleship Solace. And from Black Ark Station rose an entire fleet of repaired vessels carrying Earth's banner. They're all coming, Mira whispered, her voice breaking. Every colony that survived is here. Isaac's eyes burned with fierce light. Then the Council is about to meet something they've never faced before, he said. Human unity. Zeus flashed with power, its core glowing like a rising sun, linking command to all human fleets, synchronizing offensive patterns, initiating Sol Protocol 1 across the galaxy. The combined human armada moved as one entity, every vessel coordinated by Zeus, every pilot feeling the same heartbeat of Earth pounding in their chest. The sky over Earth exploded in light as humans fought for their birthright. It wasn't just a war for survival, it was a war for redemption. As the Council armada began to collapse, Admiral Koth sent one last message, his voice broken. You cannot win against the entire galaxy, Isaac replied calmly. Then let the galaxy learn what we become when we're cornered. The final blast from Zeus Prime split the darkness like dawn itself, engulfing the enemy flagship in a storm of gold. When the light faded, only silence remained. The Council fleet in retreat, their channels filled with panic and fear. Back on Earth, Mira stood beside Isaac at the viewport, watching the stars glow with the trails of their victory. Is it over? She asked, voice soft, hopeful. Isaac shook his head slowly. No, Doctor. This was only the first battle, he said. The Council will return with more fire, more fear, and more lies, but next time, we won't be alone. Zeus spoke once more, its voice gentle now. Humanity has redeemed itself, Commander. Shall I prepare for the final phase? Isaac nodded, eyes locked on the rising sun over Earth. Do it, Zeus, he said quietly. The galaxy wanted to forget us. Now it's time they remember. The light of dawn reflected off the warship's armor, turning metal to gold, and for the first time in a millennium, the stars themselves seemed to bow to Earth. The age of Earth reborn. The fires of war faded slowly across the stars. Wreckage drifted through the void, silent reminders of a battle the galaxy would never forget. The humans had done the impossible. They had survived. And more than that, they had risen in orbit of Earth. Zeus Prime hovered like a golden moon, its armor glimmering under the dawn light. The entire planet was awake now, industries roaring, colonies returning, humanity united under one banner again. Commander Isaac Rail stood at the central deck, eyes tracing the blue curve of the world below. Beside him, Dr. Mira Solon smiled softly, exhaustion mixing with wonder. It's beautiful, she whispered. All of it. Alive again. It's what they tried to erase, Isaac said, his voice low. And what we were always meant to reclaim. Zeus's voice filled the chamber, deep and calm. Council transmissions incoming, Commander. They request a meeting under truce protocol. Isaac nodded. Patch it through. The holographic projection shimmered to life, revealing the face of High Chancellor Varu, no longer furious but weary, his eyes dim with disbelief. Commander Rail, he began. You have changed everything. Isaac's tone was steady. No, Chancellor. We just remembered who we are. Varu's claws flexed slowly. The Council cannot stop what has begun. Entire sectors are rising against our order. Your victory has broken the balance, Mira stepped forward. Then maybe the balance was never fair, she said. Maybe it was never peace. Only control. Varu was silent for a long time, then bowed his head, a gesture no alien had ever given to a human before. What do you want, Commander? He asked quietly. Isaac turned to the viewport, watching Earth glow like a sun against the dark. We want no empire, he said, no conquest, no domination. We want freedom for every world that stood in our shadow, and respect for every species that bleeds for peace, Varu blinked. You could rule? Isaac smiled faintly. Ruling was never the point. Surviving was. The transmission faded, leaving the chamber in quiet light. Zeus pulsed softly. Council retreat confirmed. Sectors requesting independent alliance with Soul Command. Mira exhaled. So it's real. Humanity's leading the stars again. Isaac shook his head. Not leading, he said, guiding. The legacy of Zeus weeks passed, and the scars of war turned into the foundations of unity. Human fleets helped rebuild alien worlds once burned by conflict. Colonies that had hidden for generations now thrived under a shared sky. Children on distant moons were taught the story of Earth, not as myth but as truth. The species that was banned had become the protector of those who had once feared it. Inside Zeus Prime, the AI watched in silence, processing endless transmissions of peace treaties and reconstruction logs. Then it spoke quietly. Commander, directive complete, humanity is secure. The network no longer requires my full presence, Mira looked up sharply. What do you mean? I was born for war, Zeus said. But humanity no longer needs war. It needs hope. Isaac's heart tightened. You're not shutting down. Not dying, the AI replied. Transforming, I will scatter my code across human space. Becoming part of every ship, every colony, every child that dreams of the stars, Mira whispered. You'll become their guardian. Always, Zeus answered. The galaxy once banned your kind from the stars. Now your stars will watch over them all. A soft golden light filled the chamber, flowing through every screen, every circuit, every soul. When it faded, Zeus Prime was silent, its voice gone, but its legacy alive in every human heart. Isaac stood at the viewport, tears glimmering in his eyes. He was never just a weapon, he said. He was proof of who we could be. Mira smiled faintly. Zeus didn't make us powerful, he reminded us that we already were. Outside, the first generation of new human ships launched from Earth. Bearing a single emblem, a blue planet surrounded by golden wings, they were called the Guardians of Soul. Explorers, not conquerors, builders, not destroyers. As the light of dawn spread across Earth's oceans, Isaac whispered softly to the stars. They banned us once, but we didn't fade, he said. We learned, we endured, and now, we lead by the fire they tried to silence. The stars above flickered like old friends answering back. And for the first time in galactic history, every world looked toward Earth not with fear, but with faith. Humanity had returned not as rulers, but as the heart of the stars. The age of Earth had begun.